Okay, so welcome back in this tutorial. My name is Kome, and we are going to look at loops in C. We are going to cover the while loop. We are going to cover the do while loop, and then we are going to cover the for loop. So I'm going to use the GCC compiler in Linux as we did in our last tutorial. So to get started, I'll move to where I locate my C programs, then a folder bearing my name, and then the programs. So when I list that directory, I'm able to see two files that I worked on last time. So today, I'm going to move on with we're going to get started with the while loop. So maybe you can have a sample one while .c. That's how you call our first program. So I'm going to open it using nano sample one, then while .c, or sample while.c. So I'm going to have the hash include stdio, which is the preprocessor directive, and then int main to indicate the beginning of my program. From there, I'm going to create a program to output 10 numbers using a while loop. So I'm going to declare an integer called counter, which we'll be using to loop our program. Then I will initialize counter to 0. Then I will simply enter into my while loop. This is the syntax of a while loop. It will execute continuously until a condition becomes false. So the condition will come in here. In this case, I want to loop while counter is less than 10, so that I can loop of less than or equals to 10, so they can loop from 1 to 10. Remember, if I use less than 10 here, it will loop only all the way to 9. So less than or equals to 10, then the while loop is followed by an opening bracket, or you can come now and say printf. Can have we can output now a number using the type specifier for an integer, then output our counter there, and then we have to increment our counter by saying counter plus plus, and then we end our loop there. Counter plus plus simply is similar to counter is equals to counter plus 1. So I will stick with any of these. I think that is the program, so we will now just exit. I will save the changes, then I'll compile GCC sample while.c, output to while called sample while. Let's compile it. Error in the mean, so we go back to program, expected declaration statement, end of output. Just a minute, let's debug. So there's no return 0 here, so the program should then be followed by a return 0. So we are in C, and then we end. This opening curly brace must be ended there. Sorry for that omission. So I'll save that, I'll recompile, and then now I'll simply output the sample while, and it is giving me 0, 1 all the way to 9. Remember, you can also be able to format the output so it looks better. So I'll go back to my program, nano sample.c, and then I'll come here and I'll use the format escape sequence /t to create a tab after every number. So I'll recompile the program again, and then I will run it, and you can see now it's better. So I'll clear the screen. The next is we are going to do the same program using the for loop. So I'll say sample 4, C. That's how I call my program. So I'll simply move to nano sample for.c. Again, include stdio.h, stdio standard input output.header, library file into main. I will create just an int counter and then move straight to for loop. The for loop has the first initialization, initialize simply there, condition counter less than 10, counter plus plus. You simply increment there. So I'll come and print f %d, a type specifier, and then output my counter. But remember last time we talked about formatting your output, so I'll put a /t there. This time I'll put a /n, so that every time my variable counter is outputted, or the values of counter outputted in a new line. So from there I will return 0. I'll come and end my program. That is okay. It will compile well. So exit, yes, and then I'll come to my compiler, gcc sample for.c output sample4, and then when I simply run sample4, I'll get 0, 1, 2 all the way to 9. So the last one is the do while loop, which we are going to cover. So I'll simply create a nano do while. Maybe I'll use the sample do while .c. Again include stdio.h int main. I'll declare my counter int counter, then of course initialize my counter to 0. Remember, this is what we call, it will first of all, it's called a post increment. It's a post increment. A post increment loop will execute the loop at least once, even if condition is false. Right. So we are going straight away to move to our do. Tell our program to do the following: print f, you use the type specifier for an integer. This time you are going to use the tab, and then counter, and then counter is equals to counter plus 1, and then while condition, while counter is less than or equals to 10, and then this should end with a semicolon. It's a do while statement, and then we return a 0. Then we end our program there. So we'll exit, save. We try to compile sample do while.c to a file called we'll output this to sample do while. Compile successfully. We are going to execute sample do while, and there we go. So thank you for watching. Next time we are moving to functions. Thank you so much.